very historic day in the future of baseball history in Jamestown. We've had one team named for the last 25 years, and we understand that it's taken a while to get to this point, but we wanted to make sure it was perfect. Jamestown Community Baseball would like to thank those financial and trade partners. Those are simply the people who we have contracts with in our office. There are so many more private investors on this team that we did not display. Many of those investors are in the room today, leaders of businesses and companies, some corporations with roots in Chautauqua County. And of course, all of these people humbly have a passion for baseball. We expect to develop many more friendships with so many more of our neighbors in Jamestown and Chautauqua County. Before we get going here, I want to recognize three very special guests in this room, newly voted into office and currently running the show from City Hall with the red gloves. No, just kidding. Is the new mayor of Jamestown, Annie Sundquist. The longtime, one-of-a-kind, legendary baseball personality in Jamestown and advocate for sports in this city, Mr. Baseball is here, Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Okay, Russ has gotten enough applause over his illustrious career. June Dietrich. Thank you all of you for taking the time to be here. I want to also thank Jamestown Community College, Ellen DeTanto and George Sisson in particular, for organizing the booking of this amazing place. It's an awesome venue. We want to thank the Board of Directors of Jamestown Community Baseball, LLC, many of which are here today. Thank you to the City of Jamestown, who are the gatekeepers of the baseball park on Faulkner Street, who do a wonderful job maintaining that property. Thank you to our investors who are here today. Thank you to early partners whose logos you've seen who have taken a plunge with a new team in its first year. Thank you to the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, that's a mouthful. The President, Robert Julian, and Vice President, Joe Malazzo. Perfect Game has put over 13,000 players into professional baseball and over 1,300 into the major leagues. You may find that this league that we have operating in Jamestown for 2020 might just be more exciting to watch for fans of the game than our counterpart leagues in minor league baseball. It'll be up to you to decide. Thank you to two of these players who are here today, Mitch Pascarella and Adam Hare. Let's give them their first round of applause. Where are you guys? Great, thanks guys. Our manager for 2020 is also here, Jordan Bazil. All right, Jordan. As well as the operations assistant in the front office, a great baseball guy back there, Kyle Hammond. Thank you to our media friends who have come out from across northwestern New York to be here today. Thank you to the Post-Journal for preparing an amazing handout. That's Scott Kinberg, which I hope we have enough of for all of you here today. That'll be an exit handout. We call them an egress. Kill the lights, Scott.
Wonderful ball players, as we've been able to talk about in the past. There's been hundreds of them that played here in this ball field for the Jamestown team, representing Jamestown, who went all the way to the major leagues, and we have a couple of them in the Hall of Fame, Melody Fox and Mr. Johnson, Randy Johnson, and a lot of them on major league rosters. And then they put a name of a guy hanging around town on it, as you can see from the shots that we have today. And it's been an honor for me. I'm still overwhelmed by all of it. They're putting together a baseball program, and they will do it in June this year, bringing in outstanding baseball players to this facility and to this league. Let's us all get together and put 141,000 fans in the stadium in the year 2020.
is a 501c3 not-for-profit formed in 1980 to honor and preserve the sports history of Chautauqua County. Howard Emke from Silver Creek, New York. He is most remembered for being Mac's surprise starting pitcher in the 1929 World Series against the Chicago Cubs, where he set a series record with 13 strikeouts and won the game 3-1. The A's eventually took the series 4-1, and there was a big celebration for Howard back in his hometown in Silver Creek. After his baseball career ended, Emke began the Emke Manufacturing Company, a canvas business in Philadelphia. One of the products that Emke manufactured was the baseball infield tarp. His first customer was his old manager, Connie Mack. The Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame is very excited to learn that the new name of the baseball team that will be playing at Dietrich Park in 2020 includes the name TARP as an honor and an homage to our inductee, Howard Emke.
It was July 18th, I believe, the evening of the 18th. I was staying the night at the ballpark in the manager's office. It was the night before the ownership meet and greet. It was about 11 p.m. I got up, heard a bit of a scratchy noise near the door to my left. I looked, and there was a big skunk. And must have been, I don't know, I've never weighed a skunk before, but it must have been about an 8 to 10 pound skunk. It was bigger than a cat.
I had an experience with skunks at Dietrich Park. We were in the middle of a home game, everything was going along, weather was beautiful, one of those Chamber of Commerce nights where you really can't screw anything up. And the game was flowing along somewhere, I'd say in the middle of the game, we saw the whole visiting bullpen just scatter. All of a sudden, one young man comes running down towards the visitor's dugout. He's like, Coach, we need somebody. And of course, the visiting coach is back there, and they didn't care. They were coming around. So Matt and myself just took off running, right? We're the dummies that are running to someplace that everybody else is running away from. And as we got down to the back side of the bleachers and headed towards the visitor bullpen, guys were standing all in the far distance and were like, what's going on? What's happening? What's going on? Man, there's a skunk underneath our bench.
Around the time we were choosing to rebrand, we were having a discussion with Don, my groundskeeper, and he asked if we had done anything, looking into the tarp. You know, the thing has holes in it, and it was in our list, our long list of things that we needed to do, in a stack down at the end of the office. And he told us the story about how one summer the guys rolled it out and they could hear something thumping on the inside of the tube, every cylinder, every time it rolled around, clunk, 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 and the smell started coming out either side of the tube. It is a skunk, a big old skunk living inside the tarp. So all the guys peeled out of there and tore off and just left that thing wherever it was on the field. I don't know whatever happened there. I don't know if they got the game in, if the game was delayed or called on account of a skunk.
A couple years later, we were near the end of the season. Some of our younger interns were all leaving, heading back to college, so I was filling in as the clubhouse manager. We were done with the game, and at Dietrich Park, things are a little bit unique. We have one area where we have a washer and dryer, and basically you open the door, and the washer and dryer is right there. You kind of stand in the concourse and do the laundry. I don't know, it was about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was making my way down to the clubby room. And as I turned the corner to go in the clubby room, I looked up, and there were 2 skunks in the clubby room, figuring out where they were smelling some food and the warmth from the washer and dryer in there. And I will tell you, I spent 2 hours figuring out how to coax the skunks out of that clubby room. And I was very successful with leftover post-game meal and bread and some different things. The problem is, once I got them out there, the concourse hadn't been washed out for the game, because they always do it the next morning. The skunks waddled around the concourse for a long time, so I had to do big laps. I had to go. So it was 2 hours and more that night of George and the skunks in the concourse at Dietrich Park.
Skunks are loyal. In the summertime, they're nice weather, they're on their own. Like at Jamestown, they do their thing. They work, they just want to get the job done. But in the wintertime, they get together, man. They're loyal. They den up together, and you get probably a lot of skunk parties, probably some of them inside the tarp here at Dietrich Park.
Those 2 personal stores were unique to Dietrich Park. Branding is so multi-dimensional. There's going to be some people that are very conservative and have one agenda when it comes to a name or an identity or branding. And then there's going to be some people that understand that this is a multifaceted experience in branding the team. This regime utilizing a company like Brandeis to help bring a full circle to make sure it answers all the components that it needs to have to make a branding work. I thought it was a great idea. You know, I know it sounds crazy, I know the idea is crazy, but it's really where the whole business of branding a sport team and how it affects everybody from the little people in our community all the way up to the wild veterans in our community. And you know, the biggest thing is that we can rally around the skunk. And that's, you know, people have rallied around a lot of different things in sport. Ours is going to be the skunk and what a skunk represents and the history of the skunk at Dietrich Park. And we're going to be pretty stinking good at doing it.
Jamestown Park Skunks. All right, Russ. Let's debut. You got that side? All right. The Jamestown Park Skunks. Who's interrupting this ball game? Come on in. Anybody wants to get this one? This is a good one right here. What's his name?
This is Rascal.
Rascal. So Rascal has not had his scent glands removed, so the exits are actually here and here. No, just kidding. Brandeis, these folks are out of San Diego. They've rebranded over 50 minor league teams. What they do is they look into the history of every single team in every single city, every state. They look at whether or not there's some sort of a creature that's common. They look into urban legends. And with us, we kind of narrowed it down to wanting obviously a cute animal. So this is the first time we ever saw any of this stuff here. We wanted that as our mystery mark, which you folks have all seen without the tail. We had that hidden under the tarp. We also wanted something a little cuter than that. So what ended up happening is we got our peaking mark, as that one's called. And one thing you learn a lot about, guys, with artists like this and with branding in general is just having an assortment, so having a lot of different options. It's basically like if you're choosing equipment or if you're doing something and you want to, you got to choose the best thing. So they sent about 16 or so different, it actually kind of smells a little bit like from that little Rascal. But we are tarp skunks, and kind of the joke of the whole thing is that, you know, this skunk is an underdog. He's a feisty little guy that he doesn't like rain. He wants to cover the field. So we kind of, you can see where we went here. This guy looked a little weird. That guy had the teeth were a little bit, we thought he was kind of creepy. This is something that, you know, you end up with these ideas, and you can't always keep them all as much as you'd like them, because what you need to do is you need to keep it within a family. So you have our head mark, which will be on all of the home caps and away caps, as well as you have the peaking mark, which is kind of our A logo, where tarp skunks will go underneath. So that process is really fun. And what happened next, I won't show you much here. It actually looks more blue than it does on this paper, but this is actually more of a teal tarp background with a gray skunk that we thought looked like a badger. And we went back and forth quite a few times until they sent this guy. And once they sent this over, we knew that we were onto something and that they had done something very well. And you can see the date there, November 17th. So this is, what is that? That's almost, you know, a little over 2 months from today. A little known thing is that in our own county here, this fellow who won the World Series in 1929, he's the first person to ever use the infield tarp as an application. That guy's from here. So when you really think about what we had to uncover and what was found by looking into this tarp story, it's up there with the Lucy Balls, and it's up there with, I think it's up there with the Robert H. Jacksons. We have somebody from Chautauqua County that was someone that believed in leaving the game how we found it, or making it better. And the president of minor league baseball, Pat O'Connor, once said, to a full room like this, when you enter baseball, try to leave it the way you found it or make it better. And what Howard Emke did, he won a World Series. He won game 1 of the World Series for the A's. They won the World Series. And when he left the game, he thought, hey, you know, I hate rainouts. Everybody hates rainouts. And he decided that he wanted to use the infield tarp as an application. And Connie Mack bought the very first ever infield tarp. So that's something that in itself, when you think of the baseball history in Jamestown and in Chautauqua County, we've got 80 years at Russell Dietrich Park, 1941. Forever, with this mark, will forever be known as the home of Howard Emke, who was the father of the infield tarp. We're especially proud of this mark because we feel as though the game itself has been touched by this branding. This is 100% a baseball logo and a baseball name, and it's something that I think will do Jamestown proud.